Welcome back. We will be looking at the different types of reward systems in this segment. There are mainly four types in a nutshell, and it is essentially something that is quite straightforward. There's basic pay, benefits, executive share option schemes, and performance related pay. These are the four main types. Basic pay is the minimum amount that an employee receives for working in an organization. You all know probably what basic pay means. It's dependent on the company's history, competitive salaries in the same level in the market, etc. It is something that is fundamental and is considered a basic right, a fundamental right in many of the countries in the world. It's very easy to administer. Basic employee needs are taken care of generally, and usually a competitive rate of basic pay is a good catalyst to attract good people. However, it may not be the motivator for employees to do, to go beyond their requirements or beyond their minimum effort. And just the basic pay will definitely or will not likely improve performance in a direct manner. The second type of reward is the benefits. As you know, there are so many types of benefits like additional wages, overtime, pensions, company cars, health insurance, gas, various kinds of allowances, variable allowances, fixed allowances, etc., etc. There's a lot of types of benefits that um, employees are entitled to in many companies. They can be tailored to individual employees. It can be less expensive than basic or PRP or performance related pay. Can be used as a tool to attract and retain the best employees, definitely, and can compensate for lower rates of basic and performance related pay. So I know that sometimes basic pay is taxable in some jurisdictions, and the variable pay, something that falls into the category of benefits, may not necessarily be taxable. In such cases, I know that it can be used as a means of minimizing the overall tax impact as well. Um, Disadvantages that it's that employees may not want the benefit offered, or it does not motivate the employees to achieve the strategy. There could be additional costs, non-justifiable costs, and it could also be a little complicated to kind of put in place unless it's uniform. So if it's uniform, sure, but most of the time the kind of benefits that are available are tailor-made to either different corporate hierarchies, different persons, different levels, depending on their contracts, their negotiations with HR, etc. The third form is executive share options schemes. This is basically giving the directors right to purchase shares at a specified exercise price after a specified time period in the future. So you're basically allowing the directors to become shareholders. It's usually very positive, because if the directors become shareholders, it's their own company. It feels like that, so they may work extra hard. It could retain and attract best directors. It can encourage risk averse directors to take a more positive action, and it can compensate for payments of a lower salary or benefit. And it can be a tax efficient way of remunerating directors, because the remuneration in such cases may be tax exempt. However, it's it would encourage risk seeking behavior in the hope of increasing the value of the options available. It can be very costly and time consuming to administer, because you may be looking at, again, custom made, etc., very customer specific specifications. So this can be costly and time consuming, and it may even give directors an incentive to manipulate share prices. They may work in a way that share prices are affected, that share prices are positive, and that may actually be one of the biggest disadvantages of executive share option schemes. Overall, it's getting the directors to be more accountable, more responsible for the company, and if they are responsible, they feel accountable for what's going on, they will definitely and they are a stake, right? Because they know they could get a piece of the pie. They could actually get 10% or 5% or whatever shares, and those shares, if they run the company well throughout the initial phase, those shares could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars. So this is how you need to understand executive share option schemes. Um, how it works, the technicality is that you pre-announce to the directors or the senior staff who are eligible for this. You pre-announce, mentioning that this is the specified exercise price at this particular exercise or this particular um, point of share exercising or options exercising, right? So as a director, you're basically getting share options with the understanding that at this particular date you can convert them, given that you fulfill certain requirements. So keeping that in mind, directors may actually target achieving this. The fourth type of or benefit or reward is performance related pay. So performance related pay is fairly straightforward. It's merit based, right? It says that everything depends on your performance. So under a performance related pay, there's individual performance related pay when a pay rise or a bonus is given to an employee for a pre-agreed time period. Group performance related pay where rewards are based on the achievement of group targets. Profit related pay where employees are rewarded for profitable achievements that they make or contributions. Commission is used for sales staff, is based on a percentage of their sales again. This seems to be the most kind of commonplace uh, approach in terms of sales. Piecework schemes, which is essentially a price is paid being paid for each unit of output, and it's often viewed as a fair system, but quality control will be required. So you have to be a little careful with piecework systems. You never know the kind of size and the kind of breakdown that is included in a piecework scheme. Knowledge contingent pay, which is essentially a payment that an organization or a body is implementing after um, achieving certain requirements, like certain milestones in terms of their knowledge. So we call this knowledge contingent pay. I think it is something that gets attached with training also, where in the training you're told that if you train and at the end of the training there is a quiz or something like that. You're basically testing knowledge, especially if it's an internal critical training session. So overall, when you look at the benefits and the challenges there could be, even though they are slight, there are many advantages to paying all these different kinds of benefits. It motivates employees to improve performance and to stay aligned to this principle. Um, can be used as a tool to attract and retain the best employees, can compensate for lower rates of basic pay or less attractive benefits. As I said, there are many companies that do it. They keep the basic pay low and the variance allowance high, because the basic pay uh, accumulation, the amount of tax they have to pay, will be reduced. However, most of these methods are very subjective, it's opinion based. So there is really a difficulty, a general difficulty in figuring out exactly who is responsible for what, etc. Can be viewed as unfair if based on team performance, obviously, especially after hosting something like or after looking at something like in I suppose can be viewed as unfair if based on team or company performance. It is essentially the reward being a kind of there being a sort of disparity between an individual making a whole lot of money as opposed to the general contributors not making that same amount of money. So all kinds of disparities getting caused is definitely a concern. Stressful reward systems can be stressful for employees if they rely on this pay for basic needs, especially those of them who just barely manage with the reward they get. And there are millions of people, probably billions of people, who have that sort of stressful life because of the nature of, or because of the level of reward that they are getting. And it's a system. It's kind of, the system also doesn't hope to address it. And on top of it, you add the issues like interest rate hikes and inflation and all of that. This whole thing becomes quite complicated. And overall, reward systems, it's there is a complexity involved, which is why HR uh, teams and HRM systems are being developed, so that these kind of work can very seamlessly occur. So that is the four different types of benefits: basic pay, or rewards, basic pay, benefits, executive share option schemes, and performance related pay. So make sure that you do quickly revise this. On that note, we will be moving on to the next aspect here, which is the linking of rewards to performance measurement and performance management. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Good luck.